My wife came out as asexual and that's why we don't smash, so I said divorce. Now she's refusing to accept it and said I can have unlimited access to her friend instead. Posted by u/straightcorner3555. My wife, 29F, and I, 34M, have been married for 4 years, and up until a year and a half ago, things were fantastic. Our marriage began to deteriorate after there was a significant drop in sex between us, not intimacy, just the actual sex part of the relationship. We would still cuddle and have deep, intimate moments, talking and just being around each other, but she kept rejecting my attempts to take things further past kissing. Now, we have had no problem communicating, so I made sure to address it early. We talked and made adjustments, we both made sure to stay in shape, tried being more adventurous, went to couples therapy/counseling, and even tested both of our hormone levels. Everything was normal. Each solution would work for a little while, and then we'd be back to having sex maybe once a month. I asked her several times if she was no longer attracted to me, which she denied every time. I asked if I was falling short in the relationship in any other way, and she said no. Well, about a month ago, she got back from her therapy session and told me that she believes she's asexual and that's the reason for her libido being non-existent as of late. I was definitely confused because we had such great sex at the beginning of our relationship, but her telling me that she's now asexual was heartbreaking because everything else was great. Obviously, I'm not going to force her to have sex, so we had a long conversation about our relationship, and I came to the conclusion that we should get a divorce. I say because she immediately rejected the idea, said we would figure something out, and wouldn't talk to me about it anymore. I didn't know what to say, so I dropped it. Well, 3 weeks went by, without sex, and I decided that I had to do this for my own mental well-being, so I filed for divorce and had her served with the papers. Last week, when I got home from work, she was going about the day like nothing was wrong. I asked her if she had signed the papers, and she flat out said, "We are not getting a divorce," then changed the subject and acted like things were normal. Obviously, I thought this was crazy, so I stopped her and said I couldn't be in a marriage devoid of sex. I also mentioned that I was being incredibly fair with our divorce. She could keep the house that we bought and paid for in cash, she paid 1/3, I paid 2/3, I'd take all of the debt, which isn't much, we'd split our savings and investments in half, and she could keep 2 of our 3 paid off cars. I only wanted to keep my sports car. Thankfully, we don't have kids. I love her and want her to be comfortable, and I have no problem starting over since I make a good income. But she won't budge or talk about the divorce. This brings us to 2 days ago. I got home, went to our bedroom, and found my wife's friend, 27F, in our bed, naked. I immediately shut the door, said sorry, and went looking for my wife. I found her in the kitchen and asked what her friend was doing here, and she said that she was here for me. I put 2 and 2 together and said that I'm not having sex with other women in place of the woman I chose to marry. She was adamant that I could sleep with her friend whenever I wanted and that her friend had agreed to it. I couldn't believe things had gotten this far, so I went back to our bedroom and asked her friend to leave. I packed a bag, and I've been staying in a hotel nearby since that night. My wife, her mother, and her sister keep calling me, but I'm just not interested in hearing what they have to say. This feels like a trick. I just want this whole thing to be over. Does anyone have advice? Is this some kind of ploy for alimony? We do have a prenup. Should I just contact my lawyer and try to force the divorce? I'm really uncomfortable with this entire situation. Edit. We talked last night. I'll update you when I get home from work. Update 1 day later. Here's the update if anyone's interested. I'll try to keep this as concise as possible. I feel overwhelmed, so I probably won't bother with another update after this one, I don't know. My wife came to my hotel last night, and we talked about everything. She told me the full truth and what's going on in her mind. A few of you commented on this in the last post, so you were right. She has always been asexual, she and her whole family have known this since she was 16. Apparently, this is the reason why her last long-term relationship of 3 years ended. He broke up with her after the sex between them diminished to being non-existent after the first year. She told me that sex is easier for her in the beginning when emotions are running high, but she still needs to force herself to have it. I knew they broke up due to irreconcilable differences, but I didn't ask for details, nor did she tell me. After a lot of apologies and crying, she told me that I was the first person she was able to tolerate sex with for so long and that she did enjoy it a handful of times, but after a while, she still felt like she was being raped. I broke down after hearing this and started kicking myself for not catching on to any of it. She said she tried her best to please me as much as she could. She still doesn't want a divorce, and she doesn't want the house, cars, or savings, she just wants me and is ready to do whatever it takes to keep me. She even said she would sign a postnup stating this. As for her friend, she was there during my wife's last breakup and helped support her through it. My wife went to her after I brought up divorce and talked things out. Her friend suggested that she open the relationship for me, but she said she didn't want me sleeping with strange women, so her friend volunteered herself to be the one who sleeps with me. My wife thought this was a great idea, which led to the fiasco at our house. I won't comment on her appearance because it doesn't matter, and I don't blame the friend. My lawyer got back to me. You were all right, I don't need her permission, but I will have to wait if I want to push it through. I asked her why she lied to me this entire time, and she said she was tired of being rejected after revealing she was asexual, so she convinced herself that she would be able to force herself to have sex during the relationship. The hormone testing, the sessions in couples therapy, and all of our solutions were just her buying time to find another way around sex or give herself enough time to build up the strength to start regularly having sex with me again. Our conversation ended with us holding each other in bed, crying for a couple of hours. No, we didn't have sex. She pleaded with me to hold off on the divorce to look for a solution together and then left my hotel room. I'm now sitting alone, typing this effing post. I guess I found out that we don't share everything with each other. Thank you to everyone who has messaged me directly. I'm still trying to get to all of them. I don't know what I'm going to do. Second update 2 weeks later. I don't think I can link my previous post, so just go to my profile if you care to read the original post. I've tried to read every comment and message and take to heart what most of you had to say. Also, please stop messaging me. I can't respond to everyone. It's too much. I'll make this as short as possible. After my last update, my wife asked me to meet with her about a week later to discuss things. Since that night with her friend, I've been staying at an extended stay. We met at our house and talked for a few hours. She started with a ton of apologies for how she acted, for lying about her sexuality, and for not taking my sexual needs more seriously. Before I could say anything, she presented a signed post-nup agreement that she had drafted with a lawyer, stating that she doesn't want anything, the house, the cars, the savings, everything. I felt like the biggest jerk for thinking she was trying to trick me for more money. I asked her if she was serious, and she told me to take the post-nup with me and sign it when I'm ready. I still haven't signed it, it's in my backpack. I told her that I still think divorce is our best course of action and that we both deserve to find someone who matches our needs. She still refused and borderline begged me to reconsider. She started crying, and so did I. Seeing her like this was devastating. I told her that her finding other women to sleep with me wasn't going to work. What if I develop feelings for them? What if I get one of them pregnant? Would we expect her to get a termination? She said, we'll figure it out as we go along, and pleaded with me to give her more time to work on other solutions. She has set up appointments for sex and hormone therapy and is seeing a sex guru. I told her it sounded like we were going through the same things again, but she was adamant and begged me to wait. There were more apologies on both sides, and we kissed for a while before ending the conversation. Then I went back to my hotel that night. A few days later, I tried texting her, but she didn't respond, so I called her dad. I'm avoiding her mother and sister since they are saying the same things as my wife. Her dad told me that she moved back home and has been holed up in her room since our talk. She called out of work and has barely been eating, bathing, or talking to him or her mom. He asked me what I was going to do, but I didn't have an answer for him. He just said he understands and that he'd be here to talk anytime I wanted. So I went back to our house, and a good portion of her stuff was gone. The whole place feels empty. I've been sleeping in one of the spare rooms. I'm planning on flying to my mother's house in a couple of weeks to spend time with my family and decompress from this entire situation. I'm still leaning toward divorce, but I guess there's no rush. Thank you to everyone for your insight and concern. Seriously, I know we're all strangers, but most of you have been a huge help to my mental health. Seriously, thank you. Also, my cousin uses Reddit and reached out after he found my last post, asking me to shout him out if I made an update. Love you, Virgil, thank you for being there for me. Third update 10 months later. Hey everyone, in hindsight, I regret making these posts because I think I received too much advice. I keep thinking I should have just handled it internally with family. I don't regret my decisions, I just wish I had given myself more time to think. Anyway, here's the update. I'll keep it short. The divorce was finalized months ago, our house was sold along with one of the cars, and my ex-wife is still living with her parents. I had a little more than 2/3 of the proceeds wired to her account, but the last time I talked to her dad, she hadn't touched a dime. I was informed that she checked into a mental health clinic, but I don't know how long she was there or what her current state is. I changed my number, but her dad has emailed me a few times to check on me throughout this last year, which breaks my heart because he's a great man. Him playing both sides of the fence like this really made everything go a lot smoother. Other than not warning me, which, honestly, I don't think was his place to do, he's been a huge help. I moved back to my home state to be closer to my family. I may leave for another state again, I don't know, I'm not sure yet. I feel numb from this whole thing. I'm not much of a drinker, so I've been smoking a ton of pot and working out to occupy my mind. To everyone who didn't get a response from me in my messages, I'm sorry, but there were just too many. I responded to as many as I could mentally handle. I think that's it. I can't imagine there would be any additional questions, but I'll answer whatever I can. Relevant comments. Commenter. Do you love her at all? I feel like men only think with their third leg, like, is there no love if there's no sex? How is being asexual grounds for a surprise divorce with no discussion? And how are you being supported by people on Reddit? It's just a joke. Love does not equal sex, and if you're willing to dump the woman you made vows to based on sex, then you don't understand love at all. You'll never find love, and anything you find going forward is not going to be more than lust. Ops response. We tried to fix things for over a year. I understand where you're coming from, but I guess my question to you is, what can you live with and without in a relationship? Money? Attraction? Respect? Intimacy, non-sexual? Security? Which one of these are you comfortable losing in your relationships? Commenter 2. Just out of curiosity, do you see yourself ever capable of being friends with her again, or is the pain too strong to ever be around her again? Ops response. I view her differently now, although I still love her. I don't know about the distant future, but for now, there's no way. Commenter 3. Are you happy? That's all I would like to know at this point, brother. You've been through a lot. Ops response. I'm happy to be alive to experience the highs and lows of this existence. I'm happy to move on to the next chapter of my life. Thank you for asking, brother.